I'm not gonna lie to you. I was totally about to forget that I was live. If I hadn't looked over at that moment, I wouldn't have seen that the countdown had ended. And I would have just been sitting here scrolling through Blue Sky. Anyway, welcome everybody to another show hosted by yours truly, the greatest ringmaster of Gracie Square Screen, your king of clowns, the jester of justice, Mr. As Real as It Gets, Azrael Kurnishian. Today, we are going to be playing something called Of the Devil, which is supposed to be a mix of Ace Attorney and Danganronpa and apparently poker. So let's see what we got. Ooh, hold on. Mm, 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 mm. So advance, toggle auto, previous menu, skip, L's backlog. It's okay. All right, this is episodic, so we're gonna be taking this a little step by step. So you're gonna have to bear with me here. I'm gonna start at episode 0. Am I supposed to? Okay. Rain sizzles off neon above me. The summer shower creates a noted uptick in the flickering of holograms down the street, a slight blunting of the night's ambiance. Emphasis on slight. Lights, cameras, and constant noise. This city's got insomnia, with the uneven heart rate to prove it. There's no escaping the secondhand nervous energy of it all, but I'm pretty acclimated. Hold on. Who is calling the Discord right now?
Hey.
Damn, bro. Can't even stream without getting a call?
Bruh, who calling?
That's what I want to know.
Oh. Alright, next time I'll make sure I stop your call, don't worry. Just keep that in mind. It'll be one of the first ones I stop.
No, that's all right.
What's up,
No, that's okay. I'll remember.
Chill. What's up, man?
Man, bro, I didn't know it was that deep.
Anyone want in?
On what?
Smite?
Guess I'll just go back to streaming then. Damn. There's no escaping the second. Yeah, I already got that. Just a wave of worries cresting on the surface while I hold my breath deep below. Besides, a microdose of nightlife anxiety suits my mood just fine. Because if I'm not careful, this client of mine is gonna die in jail. Damn, she bad as hell. Look at her. Morgan. Criminal attorney. It's hard to get away with murder these days. People are still presumed innocent, at least on paper. But by the time they're in cuffs, there's hardly any shadows of doubt left. Because this whole world's lit up, mapped out, never unknown and always online. Whether it's incandescent or neon or hollow. Whether it's LCD, LED, or just the nearest phone screen. There's light shining on every last pixel of the map, and someone's always watching. Solitude's a rarity, anonymity is scarce, and criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. I definitely see that considering, the Ace Attorney universe and how very sparingly, if ever, Phoenix gets paid. So you take whatever clients you can get. You don't balk at public defender work, no matter the hour. Should you find yourself in one of the last dark, quiet corners left in the whole world, well, smoke 'em if you got 'em. Not that there's much else I can do until my phone. Also, your public defender contract has been approved. You are expected at the 254th precinct. Present your ID at the door to enter. Arrive at least 15 minutes early. She said, I'll try. Looks like the paperwork came through. It's nearly 3:15 now. 90 minutes since I took the job. Oh, it makes it about 2 hours since they finally got smart enough to ask for a lawyer. If they're really smart, they'll have to use that time to get some rest. Because now that I'm here, things are going to get busy. Of the Devil, episode 0. And he shall appear. Say his name and he shall appear. Do I need them? I'll enable them. Just to see what the tutorial is, because, like, I don't even know how the game is supposed to play. Wait, can I? It's this one. Precinct 254. It's a goddamn ghost town. Nothing but a hologram for a welcoming party. I'm here about a homicide. High clearance rates be damned. You think they treat it with a little more gravitas? But whatever. I found that unimportant. They've got no right to complain if I take my sweet time getting checked in. Look at her. She's so giddy. And I should take my time. Information is like cash in my line of work. You gotta spend it to make it. If you're flat broke, no one will give a shit what you have to say. So let's see if I can't poke around and shake some change loose. The medium's cracked in the corner. Looks bad, but my phone's made of the same stuff, and I'm rolling the dice every time it falls off the sofa. Probably null the warranty on one of these things with a loud sneeze. At least it's not broken entirely. Even at this hour, it's still dutifully scrolling through its notifications. It's like the usual 1-to-1 ratio of public health alerts and inoffensive pop culture trivia you always get served at state buildings. There's a few missing persons, too. 1 year silver play coverage, courtesy of Caduceus as a reward for any. Silver's no joke. Family must be getting desperate. Actual police lineup. It's like I walked into a museum. Though museums tend to feel expensive and clean. Dusty, forgotten, probably lots of unpacked boxes. This homicide's detected more like an addict. Hard to believe they were ever so busy that they had witnesses making IDs in the lobby. Then again, it's hard to believe they were ever doing lineups in the first place. Are you certain? Wasn't it dark? Did you know that during traumatic events, memory formation is blah blah blah? Poking holes in that setup must have been like shooting fish in a barrel, and all during billable hours. There's no room to sow doubt anymore. Not when a modded witness can just submit their testimony as a video recording. Assuming their phone didn't automatically file a police report for them. A data pad? I'll bite. Even when they're more advertisement than articles, they can still be informative. In a flowery, roundabout, corporate propaganda sort of way. Declaring this Subway fixes axe. City to refocus on canopy. Declaring the subway tunnels to be irreparably flooded, city engineers announced this week that all plans to train and repair the system are being suspended indefinitely. Saltwater damage to sensitive electronic cabling and erosion of key tunnel fixtures were cited as reasons for why 89% of the subway system was evaluated as critically comprised or worse. Civil engineering efforts will be refocused on maintenance and expansion of the hybrid super infrastructure system that weaves together trams, highways, walkways, and skyscrapers into the canopy high above our city streets. Ballsy of them putting the paywall there, as if I'd reach for my wallet after having to get a word like aesthetical. Besides, I got the gist of it. The takeaway is that the city will be focusing its effort on. Choose the proper takeaway after reading an article. Increase scrutiny surrounding the canopy now that there's no plan B. It's a massive project with a massive budget. Lines the pocket of a lot of people, big and small. None of them would appreciate bad press at the moment. Not when Councilman Long's already thoroughly chummed the water. High traffic hallways, utilitarian furnishing, multiple screening stations. Pragmatic brutalism so textbook it could teach freshman level architecture. You can almost hear the building drone on and on about concrete and iron and hard right angles. The civil planning equivalents of battle scars from a fight once so long ago that they're starting to look ridiculous. I'm sure it was all very imposing back when it was built. Walking in here now with crime rates where they are, feels like a hospice ward for heavy-handedness. Alright, I'll check in all the scenery and learn as much as I can here. Gonna get checked in. It booted up fine. So far, so good. Good morning. Morgan, here for the public defender contract. Can you please provide your name? And great, please stand still for a moment. I wouldn't call it intake call as charming, more like harmless. But that's probably what the designers were aiming for. People don't mind a quirk or two in their text so long as it never speaks out of turn. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble placing you. Could you please provide your name and date of birth? So far so good, was it? Didn't you scan my face as soon as I walked in here? Yes. So don't you already know who I am? Yes. So the only reason you're asking is to default lie? Pursuing an officer of the court is a felony. Thank you for remaining vigilant. Say, why don't you just scan my ID card? Great. Could you just confirm your date of birth for me? Why did they even bother asking? Birthday's on the damn ID card and my profile. I have to be a world-class airhead to get this question wrong. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Her talent is that she can fall asleep in any position. That's so cool of her. She likes puzzles. Already love her. Smoking, can go without. Wooden furniture. That's a neat little interest she got there. She hates commercials, she hates hairdressers, and she hates jogging. Birthday, December 26th. Perfect. Good morning, Morgan Counselor. Thank you for your timely arrival and for taking on this public defender contract. If you're ready to speak to your client, you can proceed to Counseling Quarter 3C. Is that what we're calling it now? You mean the interrogation room? I'm sorry to have caused any confusion. My vocabulary is regularly updated to better reflect state standards. Don't sweat it. Can't keep track of every new euphemism either. They could call it the involuntary wellness check room if they like. It doesn't change the way it makes a person feel, sitting in a stifled box of one-way panels. Nothing to see but their own reflection, duly wrapped across gunmetal walls. Morgan Counselor, can I help you with anything else? Most cities not terribly concerned with the lower wards, but this is a police station. Why is this so goddamn dusty? The facility is currently undergoing renovations. Since when? The 60s? It has been 22 months since the timetable was last updated. I really don't see a lot of action around here, do they? I'm sorry for any inconvenience you might have encountered. I'm adaptable. What about you? They ever gonna fix that crack? Thank you for asking. It's not interfered with my work. Well, that's all that matters, right? Alright, a smart user interface, an SUI. Proudly sold by Noble Electronics. Is that Jamie Noble's company? He started electronics now because he couldn't cut it as a wrestler? If you're interested, I can send you a link with information about subscription packages. Should I send you a link with information about subscription packages? No. Sorry. That was a mean question to ask. That'll be all. Thank you. You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office. Through the door to your right. Thanks. But I think it's just me for now. So you can go on break if you like. Automated dependents do not take breaks, Morgan counselor. And what were you doing before I walked in? You'll find the... That's alright, thank you. Ads don't get breaks. And they don't get my jokes. But it's usually the humorless types that are the most fun to mess with anyway. Oh, there we go. Ooh! Hold on. Eyes gone bad or something? Voice. No voice is coming from down the hall. Compared to yours? Probably. Thank God I stopped for directions. The building that's empty, the desk could have just told me to follow the echoes. My voice sounds older, rougher, and decidedly low energy. Appreciate you worrying about me. God forbid I try to be serious. While the other is youthful indignation. It's not like our job is important or anything. Definitely cops. At this precinct at this hour, they might be the only two living, breathing people in the whole complex. Because why else would you bother to print all that out? One document or 100 looks the same on a data pad. Anytime you question a suspect, you need to have a heavy file in hand. Makes them think you know them better than their priest, their mother, their big brother. I wasn't gonna say that. So how many of these sheets were blank then? No red carpet tonight, officers? I'm sorry about that, man. We don't keep many extra hands around at these hours. Probably faster to let the desk handle and take anyway. But mostly cheaper. You the lawyer? I am. Morgan, Esquire. Pleased to meet you. Same here, counselor. Quasium, London. And the ball of sunshine here is my partner, Farah Reyes. Ball of sunshine? He certainly is. Huh? Sorry if you were kept waiting. Chatter between the departments has been hectic all night. No problem. Gave me time to enjoy my cigarette. Cigarette? Like tobacco? What are you, 80? You can't be more than a few years younger than me. The detectives in charge of this particular case. Looks like tonight we're also your humble guides to the illustrious homicide department. Apologies in advance for any cobwebs. Pretty sure I've seen this London character around the courthouses before. Never struck me as more than just some old-timer. And I suppose being an old-timer is an accomplishment in and of itself in his profession. Sunshine is definitely a new face though. Rigid in her posture and her attitude. 3 in the morning and her shirt still looks ironed. Freshly promoted, maybe? 2 whole detectives working at these hours? Sounds serious. Unless you were just the first to arrive on the scene. No, we're not nearly that timely. Uniforms responded to the emergency calls within a few minutes. Calls, plural. Must have been quite the commotion. Look around. You think we're the first to arrive for anything? She's not wrong. We were only tapped after circumstances at the scene indicated involvement with an ongoing investigation. Our ongoing investigation. Reyes is so cool looking. Not very subtle, is she? But I may as well bite at this point. So you suspect that this client of mine is involved in some separate criminal activity? Wait, did they really not? No, I guess they wouldn't put it in a public defender's briefing. Look, consider this a little professional courtesy. A fair warning, yeah? That's the heartbreak killer in that room. And we got the bastard dead to rights. So if you're kind, you'll help him plead it out. And if you're smart, you'll pass the shitstorm on to some other night owl and go back to bed. Damn, Reyes! I didn't know that you have that kind of dog in you. I'm not feeling particularly kind or smart at the moment. So perhaps in the meantime, you'd be so polite as to fill me in about this heartbreak killer. They cover utilities at the rock you live under? Yo, she's sassy. I love her. Sarah Crone. You're seriously not familiar with HK? Never heard of him. Heard enough of him for a lifetime. And they have been plastered all over the city for weeks. Their crimes wavering between breaking news and urban legend. Their resumed goals flip-flopping from unadulterated anarchy to unappreciated vigilantism. At street corners, in the media, on the net, everyone's indulging in the exact kind of armchair detective speculation that I can't stand. But right now, I need to figure out exactly how much police do or don't know. And when it comes to cops, I always get better results playing dumb than I do acting smart. Take it he's a repeat offender? Is it the killer part that tipped you off? I must have at least heard about his MO. Media's gone crazy with it, along with everyone else. One bullet straight through the heart. Body left to lie where it falls. Hence the name Heartbreak. Not exactly creative, but amidst the swirl of every other 100-word article out there, catchiness trumps originality. What you won't read about online is how all 6 of HK's victims were shot by the same gun, without even needing to reload. Without even needing to... That's crazy. I would never go anywhere without a loaded gun. Not that I have one, of course, but like if I did have one, I mean, we reloading at some point. Horrible to say, I know, but 6 for 6? That's pretty good shooting, isn't it? Hitting the bullseye at the short shooting range is good shooting. Doing it 6 times in a row is great. But shooting 6 people with accuracy like that, it's a whole different beast. It takes a certain kind of monster, a real freak. His pulse probably didn't even rise. I see. Well, make him sound like a machine. Is it possible that... No, it is not. There's no such thing as killer robots, madam. Of course, my mistake. So all these androids marching in the military, those robots patrolling in police uniforms, those drones dropping firebombs from the sky. I guess they're all firing blanks. Fair enough. Machines can kill, and they have been for decades.
I see that justice burns brightly within you too.
Hey Fluffy, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome on in. We're just playing this game of the devil. Revenge dragging your out for blood. But you'll only stand a chance if you're out for love. I love that song. Right. Evil like Heartbreak is all organic. It's a pretty terrifying thought. I should really start paying more attention to the news. How I managed to miss 6 murders. Well, you can only blame yourself for missing 5. Pardon? You're still not getting it? HK6 victim was found a few hours ago. We only caught the son of a bitch red-handed. So you're convinced that my client is this heartbreak killer and tonight was just his latest crime. That's a serious accusation with very serious consequences. I take it you have serious evidence to back that up? I was being literal, counselor. Red-handed. When we found your client, he was covered in her blood. Well, that's not good, is it? What you say certainly sounds compelling. Is that lawyer talk for open and shut? But even if that's the case... How does one crime scene make him look good for 6 murders? It's all there in the discovery files, and the ARCs, of course. Join the local net on your phone and we'll turn over everything you need. I'll bet. Thanks for that, detective. I'll be sure to read it over. But if it's all the same, could I ask you two some questions while I've got you here? The hell kind of attorney wants to interrogate the detectives? This kind of attorney. You're just that pleasant. Come on, Sunshine. Not like we're going to be punching out anytime soon, right? Whatever. Let your client stew in interrogation all night for all I care. And Tara, you mean the counseling quarters? We're at your disposal, counselor. Because we haven't saved yet. We don't want to accidentally mess up and the game crashes or something. Can clean up so much just for little old me, Detective London. Someone really needs to introduce this guy to a filing system, or even just a stapler. Paper documents scattered about lazily alongside actual photographs. Either he's really old-fashioned or really paranoid about data leaks. And he doesn't look like the paranoid type. Well, orderliness aside, some things are better in paper, I'll give him that. Very stark and uninviting. This must be right at his desk. Keeping your workstation neat and tidy is admirable, but I can't spot a single mote of personalization. Is she so new she hasn't had time to unpack, or is she really that uptight and boring? Both, maybe. Wires, missing panels, an aircon system that probably sweats more than the people it's supposed to cool. No room in the budget for making the office not look like shit, huh? I expected to find a lot of belt tightening at Homicide, but I didn't think their operation would be this bare bones. They got a stunning clearance rate and they work fast. I guess the city sees that and just assumes their job is easy. Maybe their job is easy, but with our dear donating surveillance state eliminating so much of the footwork. But if your wheels don't squeak, you don't get your palms greased. So Homicide ends up as the only state dependent with a shrinking budget. Or State Department. State Department, not dependent. What am I even talking about? Dumping grants for the police works most unambitious and least popular. I'm trying to investigate them, but it's not letting me do that. Hold on. Where are the... Yeah, where are the controls again? That's not it. No. Oh, okay. This is all androids to warm welcomes. Listed by a strong earnings report and surging sales of the Anime 16, Noble Electronics stock rose a stunning 3% this week to a new record high. While Noble's latest iteration is yet to surpass the sheer popularity of its predecessors, the increased profit margin has left Noble shareholders very enthused. Many investors were skeptical when, at their now infamous 2084 trade convention, Noble announced that the 16th line would be the first generation of androids to feature over 50% organic components. So-called warm androids, which at the time only saw demand in the health, senior, and childcare sectors, were looked down upon as impractical due to increased maintenance costs, cuts, scratches, bruises, and the like. While some critics voiced concerns that fringe religious or traditional groups might find warm androids controversial, more business-focused minds feared that Noble was alienating its customers in the industrial and military sectors in order to cater to civilian consumers. Users that viewed their androids from across the room and not from above the factory floor. However, as often been the case in the last decade, Noble's doubters were proven wrong. The Animate 16 is poised to break profitability records, with no signs of slowing down. And many industry analysts predict that these once rare organic androids will completely replace their more robotic predecessors in daily life within the next 3 to 5 years. As described in the earnings report, much of the 16th line's success, and indeed the success of Noble's androids in general, can be attributed to the remarkable lifelike, personable charm of their products, and and by all accounts, that charm can be attributed to the work of Noble's famed lead programmer, Dr. David Asher. God damn. Okay, we're at the end. Lead programmer is the understatement of the century, said Noble brand ambassador Lucy Dees on stage at their latest Noble Industry Weekend. It's because of his Turing solution that every Noble product, from the sleekest assistants to the most advanced intensive care technicians, are so beloved and trusted by our customers. While his reputation was on full display at the event, Dr. Asher himself was nowhere to be seen. He's always been reclusive, but he's become a genuine hermit in recent years. Are we really to believe he's still... Hey fam, looks like you're not logged into this device. I'll put in your account info so we can help keep you reading. Again. No wonder it can't spit without it landing on a piece of Noble tech these days. Especially not when the state's involved. Don't know if they'll bite when it comes to warm androids, so... For government use, they're just... Just do it. Let's see if they're opponents. That's what I'm dealing with at least. Now I need to check out the crime scene data. Given granted access to state files regarding case KL433511. Oh. You need to reply to or to confirm. Talking to a person? I'm an automated dependent. Ads are usually more polite. Our personalities are tailored to suit our users' preferences. So the state likes you to be a little off. I swear she's beefing with everything under the sun at this point. So the state likes you to be a little authoritarian. You need to reply C. C. It's case sensitive. Thank you. Alright, fire reject from my phone. Ooh. So this is the crime scene. Alright, let's see what the police have and what they think is important. A murder weapon, a revolver found right next to the body. 6 empty casings found in each of the 6 chambers, meaning the gun's been fired 6 times. Looks like the crime scene techs practically disassembled the damn thing. But all they found were fingerprints belonging to my client. So he was found by the police with the murder weapon right in front of the body. I don't even know where to start. Highly prejudicial would be an understatement. The victim's body. Cause of death, ballistic trauma, class 4, blood loss, atrium and aorta. Single gunshot wound to the heart and brief. Death was instantaneous. No injuries anywhere else, and no blood or skin under her nails. Blood splatter, forensics, and all that other good stuff tells them that she was shot from there. The killer was standing in the doorway when they fired. A stand-up mirror shattered and knocked over. Real glass, no screens or cameras here. It was hit hard enough to come unattached from its arm, while shards of glass were scattered, far enough to land on the victim's body. What a mess. Seems like this vase got tossed aside at some point, and yet there's not a scratch on it. It must be pretty damn durable. Isn't art supposed to be delicate? Maybe it's making a statement. That's all the big ticket items. What about the security? Looks like the apartment was unlocked all night. It's not uncommon for people their age in a neighborhood like this, but no signs of forced entry only hurts my client's case. What about the rest of the room? There's not much else flagged here. Just a lounge chair that got thrown and whatever that is. What is that? Unidentified ceramic debris. Flag is irrelevant? That's their technical assessment? Guess even the crime scene techs weren't sure what to make of it. Okay. That's everything that the police highlighted, but did I miss anything? I can't click on anything, so... Ooh, hold on. Something in the victim's hand. How the hell did hit the pillow organizer? Looks like some immune adjusters. And NSAIDs and Triparaxazone. A synthetic glucocorticoid. I don't even know how to pronounce that. A synthetic glucocorticoid medication taken daily to reduce rejection symptoms like phantom pain and generalized itch. The autopsy said her tox screen was clear, but it's not like it matters. Could have swallowed every medicine cabinet in the city and it still wouldn't change the cause of death. It's odd, but ultimately irrelevant. Everything else here is all very incriminating, but the kicker is everything that's not here. No out-of-place DNA, footprints, crumbs. Nothing that points toward anyone except my client. Well, I've done more with less before, but not much more. I'm really gonna have to sing for my supper this time. Better get started. Who the hell's messaging me at this time of night? First person who comes to mind is, I suppose it could be something important. Gotta put my phone back on the charger. Well, couldn't wait until morning. Good news, of course. Got a job for you. That's a cheery way to tell me you violated parole. And then the contact name, Brett. No, hello, not that kind of job. Besides, I've been covering my tracks. This is something different. Kind of thing I can't handle is just a keyword and phishing scheme. I need you to sue my gym teacher. Not that kind of lawyer, sorry. Hey, at least let me finish. What did they do? Make me run last. Where's my snipping tool at? I already love this game. I'm gonna bring this over here. Bring up the game. And then we're going to not illegal. Let me finish. Let me run less. Even though I said I had a stomachache, said gotta be like youth endangerment. The crazy difference in some kind of shit. Sounds like you already got a strong case. Try self-representing this time. What's with the blow up? Nice phrasing. Oh wow, I'm laughing so hard right now. Look at her face, bro. She says T. They love me. I'm sorry, some of these moments are just legendary. They just gotta be memorialized. Laughing so hard right now. Is that your mugshot? I wasn't gonna not get a copy of my mugshot and use it as a reaction. Glad you caught a use case. But I'm working right now, so anything cool? Homicide. Oh, cringe. Wait, what kind of homicide? Is it HBK? Not HBK! Is that the kind of morbid thing kids are talking about? Teens my age. Yeah, we can read. We read the corrupt shit in the headlines. Old-fashioned murder like Hardy B is like quaint. It's not heartbreak. Then why'd you take the job? LOL. You see the 98% conviction rate as a challenge or something? Taking up lost cause, probe nose work. It's pro bono. That was autocorrect. You know they give lit homework for a reason, right? This is borderline concerned nagging. Maybe you really are a bleeding heart. Or just a sucker. I'm not a sucker. Nice phrasing, LOL. You should go to bed, friend. Tomorrow's Sunday. I can stay up if I want. Today's Sunday. Tomorrow is Sunday. Because today is Saturday. What's with the Carpe Diem shit? It's nearly 4 a.m., kid. You got school in like 3 hours. What? Yeah, school. Shit. Few offenders may be good for business, but that kid's bad for my blood pressure. Or a text message, I take it. Just a typical teenage drama. So then. You wouldn't mind filling me in on a few details. By the way, I couldn't help but notice that you're light on staff. It's 3 in the morning. Were you expecting a parade? I thought there'd at least be a few androids around. There aren't many androids in any police station this week. Not while the brass is renegotiating contracts. Contracts with Noble? Good guess. Hardly. They're the biggest. Hardly. They're the biggest robotics core there is. Could spend all day in Center City without leaving their office to shadow. Yes, we're very fortunate to have them headquartered here. Saves us some money on shipping at least. These talks never last that long. I'm sure they'll be back to writing checks for Noble ads by the end of the month. Even with Noble pushing those warm androids. Warm. Ew. Might as well call it the adult line. Might see them in the bigger departments or out on patrol, but not around these offices. Warm or cold, there's no such thing as an android detective yet. You think that'll happen? We already use ads for patrolling, securing the scene, and pacifying crowds. Doesn't seem like that big a stretch to me. You're joking, right? Android detectives? All the pain we go through getting witnesses to talk to us? If you're a warm personality, I can't imagine. Cop knocks on your door, starts asking questions. You're gonna be put in a bad mood. An ad knocks on your door, calls you a degenerate criminal in a synthesized voice loud enough for the whole neighborhood to hear. You're gonna start posting shit that'll get you put on a list. She's so unapologetically real, it's killing me. Well, we certainly don't want that. Well, flesh and blood witnesses are becoming less and less common anyway. Cameras, sensors, satellites, we already get all our facts from machines. Give it a few more years, it might make sense to let machines do the investigating too. The union would. The police union wouldn't let that happen. She needn't have it specified. It's the only real union there is anymore. How about the basics? What exactly has my client been charged with? The client, Carlos Bacaflat. Carlos Bacaflat was arrested on the scene at 9:50 p.m. Using his middle name already? They really do think he's a serial killer. The charge being the first-degree murder of his girlfriend, Miss Diane Dawn. First degree? That's increasingly rare, to say the least. It's rare for us to get handed anything but crimes of passion around here. City's got damn near more cameras than people. So you got. Is it L? Isn't it L? Yeah, it is L. So you gotta be really, really stupid to try and get away with murder. Well, Arbrook's gotten away with it 6 times. So what's that make him? 5 times, and that makes him insane. I was gonna go with the extraordinary. That's what the difference is, say he's extraordinarily insane. But nut jobs like that are known for their ability to think ahead. So what makes you think this was premeditated? How about the fact that he stalked and killed 5 other women as a warm-up? A warm-up. 5 previous bullets, 5 previous victims. None of them knew each other, lived near each other, worked in the same fields. Weeks of digital autopsies crawling up and down their online profiles. Nothing. So the serial killer chose his victims at random? They have nothing in common. Yeah, nothing in common at all, other than that they all look like cousins. The physical similarities are striking. All 5 prior victims were young women with brown hair and eyes, about the same height, comparable weight. These features aren't exactly uncommon. Couldn't it be coincidence? If you really believe that, you should quit your job and start buying lotto tickets. HK's got himself a type. Anyone can see that. You're really gonna try and tell me you don't see the resemblance? A young woman, brown hair, brown eyes. I can tell how tall she is from a portrait, but I can take the hint. So you think what exactly? That Carlos Flat wanted to kill his girlfriend so badly that he went out and shot 5 other women first? Hey, if the shoe fits. If the shoe fits, then you put the shoe on the... What Sunshine means is that it's not uncommon for killers to displace their violence from people close to them onto outlets with fewer consequences. Drifters, loners, strangers, workers. He was probably building up the nerve for tonight by first practicing on those other similar women. Or it's just so far gone that he can't tell the difference anymore. It's not the worst theory in the world, but it doesn't fit. I wanted to clear that these previous victims were practice runs, dress rehearsals for tonight's main event. If that were the case, there'd have been signs of hesitation, nerves. There had been mistakes. On top of which, guns are impersonal, execution shots even more so. There's no sadism or hatred or intimacy in a single bullet to the heart. Killing your girlfriend or her lookalikes usually is, if nothing else, a lot less sterile. If you ask me. That was weird as fuck. I'm concerned for her. I really am. What is this? Oh, that's the amount of coins I have. I was like, what is that? I saw the time of death was 9 PM on the autopsy, but do you have a timeline for the rest of the night's events? Can't trust much of what comes out of his mouth. But we managed thanks to less biased sources. I'm pretty confident about what we've been able to piece together from their statements. So they interviewed witnesses. Sounds eerily similar to real police work. The suspect and his girlfriend were arguing loudly with one another starting around 8 PM. The neighbors were very clear about that part. Couldn't wait to tell us all about the happy couple's domestic problems. Everyone in the building knew that they'd been fighting for weeks. As you probably gathered from what you saw in the art, there was a struggle. Furniture turned over, glass shattered. But things go quiet sometime before 9 PM. Then there's a gunshot. Scrubbers are still scrubbing, looking for audio from the area to get a timestamp. We heard from an unconcerned citizen to be pretty damn sure about the time. Riot Emergency Services got a burst of calls from the block shortly after 9 PM. No one seems to recognize the sound for what it was, but the silence that followed was pretty universally alarming. Officers arrived on the street at 9:08 PM. Established a perimeter and through an open front door at 9:10 PM. Then they find her client crouched over his dead girlfriend, his hand covered in her blood. At which point they moved to secure the scene and the suspect. Sorry, did you say his hand singular? The client's modded, cybernetic right arm. How modded are we talking about here? Registered with the HAL 85 habilis. Industrial grade looks like. Says he spec for dexterous manipulation of up to class 4 KPA, which means a minimum grip strength of, well, basically, he could crush your neck without even gritting his teeth. Damn. And also, she looks hot as hell in this this coloring. They should have made this her design. Considering a career change. No, it's not that. It's just your eye must be very sensitive for you to put the patch back on each time. And here I thought you just had a 14-year-old sense of fashion. You think a cop would cover up her dominant eye because it was fashionable? I actually thought the same thing the first time we met. You what? But getting back on track, the army has been in the shop for some time now. You can't work without it. Money got tight. Arguing? Yeah. When did he put his arm in for repairs? 8 days before HK's first victim was killed. No chance they'll be willing to chalk that up to coincidence. Client was arrested on the scene after a preliminary scan found his fingerprints on the revolver, and no one else's. A revolver? What kind? The old kind. A real old kind. More specifically, a Calver M54, 6-chamber, 10mm. Calver? How retro. You don't know the half of it. We're talking steel chamber, real gunpowder, mechanical firing pin, and no tags. No tags? How is that? Just how old are we talking here? Yeah, 24/7 location data, timestamp trigger pulls, safety is coded to owner biometrics. For the past 3 decades, SAG's made shooting crimes very unambiguous. To claim my client used some kind of antique to commit these crimes? Oh, so you think he'd have gotten away with this 5 other times? If you tried to buy a gun legit, you'd probably fail the very first psych check. Even jailbroken pieces are only good for so long before update withdrawal set in. So the M54, that's model year 2054. A 30-year-old gun. That sure complicates things, doesn't it? In some ways, sure. But free-tagging firearms are rare. Gotta be less than 1,000 of them left in the whole country. And fewer still compatible bullets. The ammunition would have to be over 30 years old, too. The novelty of his weapon has kept us in the dark so far. But now that we have our hands on it, it's gonna put him away for good. Archive department complained loud as hell about how deep they had to dig. But with the protocols they found, the techs were able to match the rifling marks on all 6 bullets to the gun your client was found with. Rifling marks and bullets fired from a gun that old are marked by the barrel shape. We call those ballistic markings. They're the blueprints of a gun, in case you didn't know. So if all 6 bullets had the same rifling marks, we know that they were all fired by the same gun. It's not as plug and play as tags are, but it's equally precise science, I assure you. And if that's not damning enough, the spent cases from the other 5 shootings are still in the chamber, without even needing to reload. The caliber your client was found with is the gun MK used to kill 6 women. No way to lawyer around that. Untagged gun, just being anywhere near a weapon like that could warrant your arrest. Being found by the police over a dead body with an untagged gun used at 5 other crime scenes is just... To summarize then, I believe that my client fought verbally, then physically with his girlfriend. And then he retrieved this weapon and shot her. Yeah, pretty much. You know what? This is gonna be like a somewhat hot take. But I feel like that if we're gonna have like any control over like guns and gun laws, I think that there needs to be an invention of like, you know, an electronic gun. Like not ones that like not like rail guns or anything like that. I mean like a gun that kind of like the ones in this game where it like you buy the gun, it has like a specific tag to it so that people know exactly whose it is, where it came from, and all that. Like just if that were the case, then they would be able to like just pin it back to them. Although I could definitely see how that would be problematic, considering that you know if someone takes that gun and uses it, then it's gonna be like, oh, this is your gun, so you fired the bullets and all that. How do you look when the officers found him? Guilty. How was his effect? Quiet, detached, stiff. Not exactly pictures of a grieving partner. That reaction may have lost some points with the cops, but beyond that, people react to loss in all kinds of unusual ways. So long as the police are suspicious of you, there's no right way to greet you. Checking my phone here, and I have to say, you've done a pretty admirable job keeping the details of HK's crimes a secret. Less reputable sites are doing some real journalistic acrobatics trying to piece together a story. Yeah, top 11 theories on who hurt HK was a real weighty read. It's not just journalists though. All kinds have been emboldened. The freaks that HK has managed to bring out of the woodwork in just a few weeks. Can you blame them though? I mean, he's a genuine serial killer. Repeat offenders in general are an endangered species, so he's gotten away with... We know what he's gotten away with. Take a look around us, detective. National DNA Registry is robust enough that cases never go cold. Cameras on every street, a phone on every citizen. Violent crime at an all-time low and clearance rates at all-time highs. But you gonna spot some alt-pol bullshit about invasion of privacy? No, I'm not. People are safer now than at any other time in history, detectives. So when someone like Heartbreak does come along, good point. London's trying to look like he can laugh it off, but pressure for the higher ups must be reaching its peak. They want, maybe need to see someone charged, and that makes them predictable. That's the second time they've done that. What is going on? Why does it keep doing that? Even if there's nothing standard about HK, Department SOP still dictates we starve the media for case details. That way, when we do feed them, they're grateful for whatever scraps they get. But we can't take all the credit this time around. Homicide's tight-knit and tight-lipped, but it's not like there's much information for us to leak in the first place. And why is that? Because none of the shootings were caught on the Optin crime surveillance system. See, now that's scary. That is scary. Could you imagine? You know, you got a genuine serial killer running around during a time where surveillance is a major thing, where the crimes are constantly being caught on camera, but only for this serial killer to not get caught on camera. That's terrifying. That's actually terrifying. And if they had released that information to the public, there would be a panic in the streets every step of the way. It would be complete anarchy, because then they're gonna try to find, oh, let's see if we can find this area where there's no cameras. How is that even possible? I know that there are some rough areas in the lower wards, but Optics is watching every other street in the entire city. You're saying you haven't seen this killer on camera once? I think we'd have let him kill 6 people if we did. I understand your concern, ma'am, but Optics is only what it says in the name. Private surveillance system signing up to feed into the state security network. It's not perfect, just another one of the many public safety tools. Give me 1 second. Oh. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to help us solve crimes, or at least act as a deterrent. One would hope so. Fast chance. Deterrents are for war rooms and board meetings. Anyone crazy or desperate enough to commit a crime in a city like this couldn't care less about anything as vague as the consequences of their actions. It's like the safety blanket, one with very few holes left in it. But it does have holes. Patching up those remaining holes takes effort, and that effort usually means rebooting the system. There's all kinds of technical details and digital bureaucracy involved, but the end result is that there are occasional localized blackouts, and the math used to schedule them is not impossible to predict. But those windows of opportunity are small and short. Taking advantage of them requires specific knowledge. You need to be involved in law enforcement, pub data, or city planning. They have mentioned it if my client was a cop, and he wouldn't have needed a public defender either. Saul says he's modded for heavy mass manipulation, not tech interfacing, so that just leaves city planning. So, does he work construction for the city? HK has only ever struck at times and locations where objects would be down. Even with the devil's own luck, it can't possibly be coincidence. Wait, so you're saying when this woman was killed? Yeah, there was a blackout from around 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock tonight. Right on schedule, so to speak. It included the area surrounding the victim's apartment. Well, what about DNA from the other crime scenes? Was my client a match? There's been no blood, no saliva, no suspect DNA at any of the crime scenes. No footage and no forensics. Also no motives, tampering, or witnesses. It's like hunting a damn ghost. We didn't even have a murder weapon until now. Finally, lucky break for the boys in blue. Scanners, cams, drones, forensics. No matter how you dress it up with tech, all detective work relies on one basic assumption. People make mistakes. The HK is the kind of monster who doesn't make mistakes. Only reason we even caught him tonight was because he finished what he had set out to do all along. So was my client on the list of suspects before tonight? Weren't you listening? There was no list of suspects. We questioned some exes, a few CIs, someone even spoke to one or two unlisted at some point. Nothing came of it. There was talk about starting on some kind of psych eval or something, but I never expected much to come out of some of that. There's just not enough there to work with. In other words, the only thing they have, the only thing they could have to link my client to these killings is the murder weapon. If I could jostle that keystone, then the rest of that case should start to come loose as well. But thanks for the chat, detectives. I think I understand the background well enough now. Candidly, I see the same strokes you do, and the picture it paints isn't pleasant. But even so, it seems a bit unrefined to be brought before a judge, don't you think? Hey, it's only our job to catch the bastard. The DA is the one who gets the conviction. Besides, we're not exactly going to have to work hard to convince anyone of his guilt. Why is that? Because we found a handwritten confession at his desk. Man! And you didn't bring this up earlier? Well, that's, unexpected. I'm sorry, you're now telling me that he wrote a confession? Has it been verified? Not yet. You have to muscle past everyone in fraud and disinfo to get to the front of that line. Why bother? The note's covered in his fingerprints. There's a copy in the discovery data, but I should warn you, it doesn't exactly make for light reading. I'll have to manage somehow. I need to see his confession for myself. Hold on. Sorry for everything. Can't say it enough. Didn't mean to hurt you or do what I did. Did not want any of it to happen. Can't stay in control when I get mad. When I'm not in control, I hurt people without meaning to. Wish I hadn't broken them. Didn't mean to at first, but I was hurting. Wanted you to hurt too, but didn't want to hurt you. Words aren't enough. I know that now. I'll take responsibility and do what I've been avoiding. Please forgive me. It was difficult to read. Barely legible, in fact. Well, got a spin on that? No need. But it's a confession. Not a confession that he signed, though, is it? Not yet. And not one he intends to sign anytime soon, considering that he asked for representation. Yeah, the most wanted man in the city asked for a lawyer, and got you. Guess you're both lucky. Hardly. I just happened to be awake when the call went out. I'm not so flush with work that I can afford to turn tail now. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go and speak with my client. Yeah, we've been talking to them for like 50 minutes now. What? Oh. He's not still handcuffed in there, is he? Look, counselor, with all due respect, we have strong evidence pointing to the man being responsible for 6 murders. 2 hours or so in cuffs is cruel or unusual, and that's for your safety as well. It's kind of you to worry. It's kind of you to. I keep getting the reading wrong. It's kind of you to worry, but I doubt I'll be in any danger. He's killed 6 women. None of them were redheads. Seriously though, I'd like to speak with him alone now. Camera's off if you don't mind. Mic's on or off is your call, counselor. We'll be watching the feed from right outside in case anything happens. And the cuffs? The cuff, that is, stays on. That worried about me? How else chivalrous? Yeah, my armor is practically blinding. Gross. I'll start the unlock cycle. Counselor, just one last word of advice. If you have any interest in his well-being, I suggest you help him sign that confession. Not a bad idea. I do get paid either way. But the defense part of defense attorney isn't just for show, detective. I mean it. 6 people dead is one thing, but he's also caused weeks of widespread terror and public unrest. Putting it another way, he's made the state look bad. That's a capital crime if there ever was one. And even if the death penalty is not actually on the table these days, I can guarantee he's not going to like whatever rehabilitation plan they draw up for him. One sec. Ugh. Look, I've seen the virtual work release program in person, and it's being challenged before the Supreme Court. Yeah, sometime in the next decade, maybe. Just remember, a plea deal might feel like a loss for you, but if it keeps him from... Hold on. I do want to see what that one knows. Metrics following the suspected suicide of inmate Jay Gillies Church. Results for this term are temporarily blocked. Wait! So the one that I did look at, I'm not even allowed to look at? That's crazy. I want to make sure that that's actually the one that I looked at. Yup. That's probably way for your client, right? Citizen sentences are generally lighter for those who plead guilty. That much is true. It saves the courts a great deal of time and money, and they show their gratitude with reduced sentencing. No one will ever be grateful towards a heartbreak killer. Anyone convicted for killing 6 people, they'll never rest their mind another day in their life. It's depressing as hell in here. Yeah, look at her, she's so pretty. They need to liven this place up. Carlos Slat, right? If you don't mind if I get comfortable. Got a lot to cover, but this shouldn't take all night. What are you? Look, I already told you people I'm not a cop, Carlos. Furthest thing from it. I'm a lawyer. You're a lawyer, in fact. I'm here to help you. Yeah, well, they said that too. All of them did. Back there and here, kept repeating it the whole ride over. Said that they were going to help me, that they knew this was all a mistake. That then they said that I killed, like they were on my side, and they thought that I could have, It's not their job to help you, Carlos, but it is mine, and I'm here now. He's still in shock. I need more information, but if I approach this the wrong way, he'll just climb up even more. I'm sure you're exhausted. It's probably difficult to think, let alone speak. I'd like you to try and answer a few questions. Police already questioned you, I'm sure, but they were treating you as a suspect, not as a client. Okay, so what do you want to know? Let's start simple, something mundane, grounded, and rough. I'd like to know a bit more about you first, Carlos. Something like, what line of work are you in? I'm with City Engineering. Or I was, or I should be. Because I thought the police must be convinced that they mapped the optics blackouts using data he stole from work. My arm, I got it slotted for the job. And, Carlos, I'm gonna need more than that. So what do I know? He works in City Engineering, not a desk job. Reyes said he was modded for work, and that arm must be in custody at the moment. But based on his shoulder, it'd have to be pretty... Yeah, he doesn't strike me as the type who is enamored with the aesthetic of modding. The young and the restless and the rich, swapping in neon and chrome limbs because they like the way it looks, or the way it makes other people start looking at them. No, he's pragmatic, grounded, and very unlucky. In which case, I should be too. You know, my brother wanted to mod. Really? Really? I don't even have a brother. He had everything planned out. A whole career path of promotions and bonuses and the upgrades they'd afford him. Then came his 18th birthday present. Test results politely informing him that he's not a viable candidate. That sucks. I think he felt relieved, actually. It seemed like it was a weight off his chest. Like he was glad that he didn't have to choose. Does that make any sense? Yeah, I think it does. I always figured if I start at all, I'd start small. A hand or an eye. Test the water. Never thought about lobbing my whole damn arm off, but the recruiter was enthusiastic. He said, "'Cause of the NCDA, there's financial aid and resources." Of course, that got shit canned, so now me and every other modder is royally screwed. Couldn't even let me keep the tax credit. The new Citizens with Disabilities Act was amended, not repealed. But I doubt he'd appreciate the distinction at the moment. I worked the tighter spaces, the high volt environments, mostly canopy upkeep. Typical stuff for modders, you know? He's speaking freely now. Don't need to do much more than repeat his words back to him to keep him talking. But the right word choice here or there can still make a difference. You work on the canopy. You must be... Under a lot of pressure. Under a lot of pressure now that the subways are recording off. Damn straight. And this crap with Long? Once word got out that the case against him was real, every desk job in the chain became terrified of their own shadow. All of them convinced that internal affairs is going to come knocking if they misplace so much as a paperclip. Everything by the book means no room for compromise, no room for problem solving, no room for engineering. Yeah. And no patience for screw-ups. Honestly, I kind of see where he's coming from with that. Because you limit a person's creativity to just standard regulation. You know, you gotta do things by the book forever and always. Then what if a problem comes up that's not addressed in the books? Or, God forbid, if something far worse happens as a result, what are you supposed to do then? Sometimes you really do just have to think outside the box, and most people in the higher ups and like the corporate ladder and just the executives, they don't really understand that, which is strange to me because like they must remember how they got there. So I don't know, but I definitely see where he's coming from. He's trying very hard to not look at his shoulder. Why aren't you wearing your prosthetic right now, Carlos? Yeah, that. Rejection issues started last month. A lot of sleepless nights. Rejection? Did therapy not take? It's not like that. I wasn't oozing pus out of my sockets or anything. Then do these rejection issues have anything to do with your scars? Not in the way you're thinking. I'm right-handed. Uh-oh. So his cuts on his face are just from shaving? Never thought this go on so long. I'd have to relearn how to do everything. I mean, the problem started small, trembling. But then spasms, just oversensitivity. They said, an easy fix. But the problem got bigger. Couldn't let it get that far. You need to be able to trust your own hands when you're on the job site. Drop a cutter at the wrong moment and people could get hurt. So I sat down, made an appointment, turned in my arm. I watched my case get placed at the back of the damn line. Where did you turn it in? Some mass turnaround chop shop with a waiting list like you wouldn't. It doesn't sound like you're a happy customer. Hell no! I found a dozen other clinics with shorter wait times. As long as I'm renting and not owning. The manufacturer decides where your arm gets maintenance. That's why I'm sitting here with this expensive ass stump for a shoulder. I haven't been able to work in weeks. Bosses were generous enough to say my position might still be there when I've got 2 working arms again. You couldn't buy or rent a replacement yourself just in the meantime? I serve at the pleasure of the state, and they got exclusivity contracts with Hindi, all locked up white knuckle type. Hindi? How Industries? As I recall, he's registered with one of their Habilis models. If I took one step on site with uninsured tech, forget the fines, I'd lose the down payment and my arm. I'd never work in the city again. This was last quarter, maybe I could have worked something out with management, but like I said, no one's sticking their neck out for anyone now that Long's in deep hot shit. You mentioned discomfort. Are you in pain? Pain will come and go. It's the itches that'll kill ya. And the phantoms come back pretty fast when I don't have anything arm-shaped attached to me. Didn't they give you something to, well, wear in the meantime? Something the clinics lend out for cases like this? What they gave me is a deadweight, 3-jointed landfill bait piece of shit. Sorry, it's a very shitty feeling having a part of your body that you know they cut corners on. It fits, it's compatible, technically. I can slide it in to feel on balance again. The fingers don't even bend, the quick twitch motors are way off. It's like walking around with your arm asleep or dead. So were you wearing it when... You were wearing it when you were arrested? No, I wasn't. I'm pretty sure I saw the police bagging it as evidence, so... Can't have gotten too far. So Detective Reyes was being quite literal about how he was found. He had the victim's blood on his left arm only because at the time in question he didn't even have a right. No inconsistencies in the story so far, and he's opened up about as well as can be expected. This has all just been a warm-up for the both of us. Now comes the delicate part. Carlos, you and the victim were romantically involved. How long did you two know each other? Right. I've known her since college. Actually, let me save real quick. Because I could already smell the BS coming along. Shared a few classes, some mutual friends. Always got along. Eventually we just got together at some point. Guess I never actually asked her out the real formal way. Sounds pretty cowardly saying that out loud. Diane, she was in genetics. Focused her studies on agriculture. It always takes them a few tries to get used to using past tense. Just finished her post-grad work this year. Got hired right out the gate. Practically headhunted. You believe that? Practically headhunted. Of course she was. Any company would be lucky to have her. Unlike... It was a real ass job. Paid real ass money too. So her career was starting to pan out. Right as yours had fallen to the mother of all slumps. Where was she hired? Pedigree? No, Perigee Laboratories. I say that like the name matters. The whole setup's under Harco's umbrella. That doesn't narrow it down. Harvest Corporations grows a third of the soybeans and corn in the entire country. One client that size, the lab wouldn't need any others. Now, no corporation earns the mega prefix without a little throat cutting, but Harco's about as tame as big business can get. Predictable like the seasons. No one's gonna buy that they had some lab tech murdered because of corporate greed. But she adjusted well to her new job? Yeah, they loved having her there. She never mentioned arguments or disputes? Corporate politics getting rough? I don't think so. Not like I've been a good listener lately. But I never got the impression that she... Look, no one I know could do this to her. And there's nothing she could have done that would deserve what happened to her. It was a long shot hoping for a disgruntled character from her past to shift blame onto. With no other suspects, I can't just reshuffle the detective's suspicions. I'll have to disprove their argument entirely. Thank you, Carlos. That was very helpful. It was? I got another notification on here. Now I'd like you to try and tell me whatever you can about what happened tonight. Start at the beginning and take your time. The details are important. Alright, Miss, Morgan. I'll try, Morgan. When you're ready. We were arguing. We have been arguing a lot lately. Arguing about stupid stuff. I haven't been working. Haven't been making money. Haven't been pulling my weight. I was mad at myself. But more than that, I was jealous of her. Honestly, I fucking feel that. There was a period of time before I got the job that I have now that I was out of work and I was just, you know, I was just feeling really useless, really pathetic. And then when I got that job offer, that job call up, I took it. I told him I'll start literally today if you need me to. And the rest was history. Jealous over nothing. Jealous over goddamn money. First say you were arguing about around 8 p.m. 8? Yeah, it must have been when we started. We got into it and I said a lot of things that I shouldn't have. I said one thing that I really, really shouldn't have. I crossed the line, we both know it, so I left. You left? Yeah, I walked out the front door. Thought some fresh air might help me cool off. Help me figure out what to say to make it up to her. Of course the air wasn't fresh, just humid, thick like mud. While I was pissing away the time, Diane was, did you bring your phone with you or any other electronics? No. I kind of stormed off, didn't even take my key fobs. Didn't even lock the door behind me. Optics down, traffic and street level cameras won't help him. That leaves, did you go through a checkpoint or talk to anyone with modded eyes? Did you buy anything, cash or credit? No, not even a vending machine. Not even a damn vending machine, huh? I may have met my match. How can anyone be this unlucky? That's quite unfortunate. I just wanted quiet at the time. Wanted to wallow in it, really. Sorry if I don't have all the details quite right. My head is. But if my exact route would help, the cam's probably... What? What is it? Optics was what? Can that even happen? And there's no other proof that you were out at the time Diana was killed. Meaning you got no alibi. Oh shit. This can't. Listen, I didn't do this. I couldn't. Carlos, I'm the one person you don't have to try and convince. After all, I'm your lawyer. Let's just get it all out there and see what we've got to work with. That's so cool of her. I love that so much for her. He was starting to panic, and he was like trying to convince her that he didn't do it. And she just cut him off immediately. She was like, nah, fuck all that. You don't gotta explain shit to me, cause I have your back. And you know what? I fuck with her for that. And I mean, obviously that's just a lawyerly thing to do in this scenario, but like really and truly, it's just the way that it was handled that really just sat right with me. Now you said you left to clear your head. So what made you come back? I came back because I heard a noise. Loud noise. Didn't know what it was. But it was loud and it scared me. And it came from the direction of our apartment. I was walking back at first. But at some point I must have started running because when I got back I was so out of breath. And when I saw that the front door was open, something dropped in my chest and my lungs would... You live on the first floor, right? Yeah, first floor apartment, street facing entrance. We were proud of that when we first moved in. Like it was some kind of big deal. From the hallway I saw her, but I didn't realize, I never thought that she was... The lights were off. The whole room was a mess. I thought we had been robbed, or she had fallen, or there was broken glass, furniture knocked over. And she was... I called her name and she didn't move. I checked her pulse and she was still warm. Her blood was warm. And I saw the gun. It looked so heavy, but I thought it had to be fake because I didn't want it to be real. Is that why you picked it up? What? Pick it up? I didn't touch that thing. I didn't shoot her, damn it. Doing what I do, you hear a lot of lies. White lies, blatant lies, heated lies, bad lies especially. For me, it's always been easy to spot a lie. But it can be hard to know what to do about it. I have all the proof I need in my files, but he's nervous and defensive. None of this works if he doesn't trust me. The fact that your fingerprints are on that gun. But I didn't do this. I didn't. I wasn't thinking. I was just Carlos. All I'm saying is that you picked it up. That's all. Would you believe me if I said I didn't realize it was a gun? That explains how his prints got on the gun. Not in a way that would satisfy the police. Still, if all he did was hold the gun. So stupid. I know what a gun looks like. But seeing it in my own home right in front of ruined shark, Carlos, you still are. The police came in sometime after that. I don't remember much of what they said. Things started moving fast, it seemed like. The rest of my night went probably the way you'd expect. Carlos, you admit to having a verbal argument with Diane, but you said you were surprised to see the ruined trash when you got back. To clarify, you're saying that you two never had a physical fight? Physical? We never fought. We never fought like that. Did the police say what we did? They assumed as much. Because they also assumed the room was disheveled well before the shooting occurred. Considering what Carlos has told me, what else did they assume? What is it? I'd like you to take a look at something for me. The crime scene. Oh, it's an AR module built from data taken as the police entered, so... Right, it's just that. It's just data, Carlos. No grisly details. Okay. Let me see it. Take your time. Alright, I think I got it. That's how the police found things. Now close your eyes and think back to how the room looked when you left. Try to focus on what's out of place. Alright. I'll take notes. You just say whatever comes to mind. I don't remember exactly where everything was. Well, the mirror was upright, of course. And the clock was still on the wall. The chair got knocked over at some point, and the bed got tossed. The cushions torn. And the urn fell. Other than that, I'm sorry, that's all that stands out to me. Let's see. Like so? What's wrong? Something out of place? Carlos, you need to trust your instinct. If anything seems off, don't be afraid to speak up. It's just, I guess I just assumed your notes would be making edits to the AR. Oh, I didn't even see the drawing! You know, that's actually funny. Well, I suppose that works too. Sorry, I didn't mean... I think your drawing is pretty good considering... I'd like to change the subject now, Carla. She's so embarrassed. She's so embarrassed. Let's talk about the letter that was found on your desk. Letter? What do you mean? I mean this letter here. Do you recognize it? The police are calling it a confession. A confession? But this is just a note to self. So you did write that. That's crazy. Look, when we fight, I lose my temper, say things I don't mean to. So this morning I tried writing things down so I didn't have a script to stick to. So I could apologize to her instead of just fighting with her. Carlos, you say in the note that you hurt them. That's I broke her fidget tubbies. Yo, lock him up. Lock him up for being unfortunate, man. He's a danger to himself and everyone around him. Lock him up. Throw away the key. He's a danger. He's a dangerous man, but not for the reason you think. The most unfortunate human being to walk God's green earth. Oh my God, lock him up. Her what? Her what? Ain't no way, bruh. Hold on, I'm just grabbing a screenshot because Fidget Tubby. There are these collectible ceramic character things. They're supposed to be like tactile, use them as paperweights or conversation starters. conversation starters. She loves those little things. They're not worth a damn. You can buy them at any flea market or garage sale, but they meant a lot to her. And I broke them. I mean, I was pissy at the time, but they got used to get rental art. I hardly know where I was swinging it at the time. Saying I just ripped it off and tossed it in my room. A cheap, dusty, worthless. Yeah, let's say he did break her frigid duckies with his frigid duckies. Wow. Does that change? Nothing at the moment. There's not enough detail in the note for me to prove what his intent was when he sat down to write it. Police insist on claiming it's a confession for their heartbreak killings anyway. Couldn't even bother to sweeten them up. I felt so. Alright, Carlos, thanks for answering my questions. I'm gonna call the police back in here. I'm gonna get this cleared up for you. What? That's it? That's it? Oh, okay. Well, before I do that, I do have to ask, what do you know about the heartbreak killing? You mean that cycle that was trending all month? I mean, as much as anyone, I guess. I haven't been getting out much, but I'm sure everyone's on edge. A guy like that out there, he shoots people through the heart, right? Police kept the victim's appearances far away from any upstanding news sources. Unless he was already following the murders, Carlos wouldn't notice any resemblance to his girlfriend. I mean, she was shot in the chest, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? If he's this low on the uptake, it's gonna be a real shock when those officers walk in here and accuse him of being a serial killer. I'll just have to quash that theory as quickly and definitively as possible. I didn't realize you could smoke in here. Technically, I can smoke wherever I want for a fee. I guess so. Nervous? Don't be. I'm the one who's on the clock. Right, I'm sure this isn't your first time doing this. No, of course not. It'll be my first homicide defense, though. That was weird. Why does everyone always think the first time is so goddamn important? Hey, cheer up. I got relevant experience in other areas. Huh. And what areas are those? You ever gamble, Carlos? No, ma'am. I never go anywhere near loot boxes. I mean, more like playing cards. Well then, know that too. I've actually got pretty terrible luck. Could have fooled me. What I do like, what I do is a lot like poker, Carlos. Poker's nice because even if you're dealt nothing but crap all night long, you can still win. Which makes things pretty fun. Okay, so, do you have a good poker face? I like to think so. And are you lucky? Only when the stakes are high. And, in this metaphor, we're playing poker. And the state's the dealer? If only. No, the states are more like the house. You mean like the house always wins? Yes. They're very good at it. Winning, I mean. That's why they're up there, and we're down here. That's why they're at the house. So what do? Play the cards we're dealt as best we can. Win more hands than we lose. Keep it up, and eventually someone will come over and tap the dealer on the shoulder and whisper something in their ear. Then we'll be politely asked to leave. That doesn't sound very triumphant. House always wins. Our definition of victory is more like, don't lose. Thanks, Morgan. But I guess I was more asking, like, what should I say? Just leave all the talking to me. So that's the strategy. What's up? You know, there's a saying about gamblers with strategies. Yo, ready to confess yet? Okay, so before we get started with this, I gotta use the bathroom, so we'll be right back. Alright. Here we go. Because I already woke up the DA. Ready? She must be new. District attorneys have final say on whether or not the case is brought to trial. But only fair since they're the ones who end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer simple guilty pleas over long protracted trials. And they all dislike having their time wasted. Fortunately, you'll have to call them back. Because my client is not guilty. Frankly, I'm not sure you have enough to hold them here. Right. What she said. You got a weird sense of humor, counselor. Different generations, I guess. For my time kind of thing. I'm very serious when it comes to defending a man's innocence, detective. Counselor, we have your client's written confession. His written confession. Let's start there. Okay, well, we'll be happy to. Starts of every argument starts with the facts. What's already known and agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table. It's pretty simple, counselor. Real paint by numbers stuff. So we found a note at his apartment. With his fingerprints on it. Apologize for how he hurt them all so bad. Man, now how are you planning on spinning that? Those are the facts. But I've been building up my hand all night. Now I've got the weapons to answer anything they try and throw at me. Well, my client did write that note, and it was an apology. But not for murder. He was apologizing for... Simply apologizing for this. The hell is that? I found myself asking that exact same question when your first hand. What are we looking at here? Something from the crime scene? This diagram of the room. It's created from data you captured, right? Pure non-GMO augmented reality crime scene data. Yeah. What's non-GMO? Not much these days. Notice said anything out of place? Yeah, the whole room's full of busted shit. It's a scene of a murder. Full of busted shit for sure. But I was more referring to the unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room. The hell is that? Ceramic debris, huh? Must be from the vase that got tossed. Actually, that's not possible. Oh? Because that vase wasn't damaged. It's not possible for that debris to have come from the vase. Because that vase is still pristine. How is that? How is that possible? Why is he talking? Oh, the lady at the garage sale told me it was so old and delicate. Damn it, the one time I tried and thrift shopped on my own. Well, so what? What does it even matter? The vase doesn't have a scratch on it. Then the debris must have come from somewhere else. That debris is what my client wrote that apology over. You're saying that confession was an apology for not vacuuming? I am, because that pile of rubble is all that remains of the victim's collection of Fidget Bob. Fidget chat. I can't even pronounce this simple thing. Fidget Tubbies! What he said. Mr. Flat broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident, and this impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology. Can you prove that? We're taking this seriously? As much as I wish we weren't. We're all in agreement that my client wrote that note. And we can all plainly see that there's ceramic debris at the crime scene. Now, since it couldn't have come from the vase, it must have come from the collectibles. Simple, right? The hell are you on about? The entire room was trashed, as the arcs clearly shows. Those Fidget Tubbies must have gotten pulverized during the struggle, too. You really gonna claim you sat down to write an apology for breaking her toys and gunning her down? Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. No, those collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that, and there's proof. Go look at the rental you took into custody. One swipe with your finger should show exactly how devastating it was to the fickle buddy ecosystem. It's Fidget Tubby. Whatever. You did take it into custody. I'm sure your text found ceramic debris on it, yes? Now that you mention it. Fine, whatever. He broke them with his arm while he was killing her. Happy? Overjoyed because even a cheap arm has got an operating system that logged the last time it was worn, right? Right. See, I happened to spot a footnote on the lab report. It said the rental hadn't been used since the AM. Whose side are you on, old man? It's gotten pretty late, sunshine. Just trying to save us all some time where I can. Well, thank you for your service. Well, thank you for your service. Are you seriously buying this crap? Just look at how scrawled, how panicked that note is. Expecting me to believe he was that upset over a Fidget Tubby collection? One that hasn't even been graded? Setting aside to take the risk, surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles. You're correct. They held no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be so shaken over their loss. But so what? So what? After all, that's not panic you're seeing on that page. No, the only reason that note looks the way it does is because Carlos. That's right, hint. Yes, I am. Did they not know that? Shouldn't that be on my permanent record or something? So the reason why the note looks like Asylum Wall scribbles is because he had to use his left hand to write it. I tend to think better at writing than typing. And I need to get used to using my left anyway. I just thought it could be good practice. Taking that into account, alongside the ceramics, your slammed up confession is looking about as watertight as a fishnet. Okay, fine, forget about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You've established that your clients are remorseless. What? Are you serious? Get back to the reality of the situation. Here are the facts. You found your client at the scene of the crime, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood, right next to a big old goddamn gun. It just so happens to have his fingerprints on it. That's right. That coat is... What, you gonna claim it's not his? That he actually wears an extra small? Trying to bait me in a typical low-key fashion. You must have something. No sense playing into it. You'd like to ask me, detective? I'm just curious, what'll be next? You're gonna tell me he actually wears an extra small? Ooh. See, Carlos, do you? No. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, there's no evil spin you forgot to mention. No, I'm afraid not. Not even gonna go for a mysterious third party at the scene of the crime. Or since I'll need to get there eventually. Going there now without hard evidence. No evidence of a third party at this time. Damn right you don't. Clear as day in the arts. No evidence of anyone but Carlos being there that night. So keep dreaming. It was obvious she had something there. I wasn't gonna win that hand either way. But at least I didn't overstep and take any more damage than I had to. We're not contesting any of that, detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene. Which was not smart. Hey. But not illegal either. And that's all. He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did. Right. Do you have those clothes on hand, by the way? Well, I finished with them a while ago. What are you getting at? It'll be easier just to show you. Do you mind getting them for me? You know what? Sure, I could use the fresh air. It stinks of bullshit in here anyway. Oh, she's so real. She's just so great. And here I thought the room smelled like... Morgan, what are you doing? My coat's covered in blood. I remember that much. So doesn't that like make me look really bad? Just relax, Carlos. I'm pretty sure that's impossible. You're innocent. And that means that having more evidence will always help you, not hurt you. Well, really? Not really. Ooh, I kind of like her with the green look. Plenty of innocent people in prison. People with bad luck. Or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. More often than not, it takes coaxing. What was it that reminded me of? Alright, here it is. One bloodstained jacket, fresh from the lab. What's your angle? You can tell us that this is actually just hot sauce? No. That would be silly. She actually thought it over. So what the hell's your point? Hey. Sorry, it just got thrown off by the turn of good fortune. What good fortune? You should thank the detective for bringing you your jacket, Carlos. You've proven your innocence. So wearing this coat. You could have been wearing it at the time of the murder. So it's blood, who we know died when she was shot in the heart by a gun that appears to be an old world pre-tagging firearm. And so this coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there a gas leak in here? In what world does that make any sense? Sense happens to be key here. I just need to draw their attention to what they can. They can. Oh, no. I see a coat with a lot of dead women blood on it. Damn. Okay. Also, it only takes off one. Tell me what you smell. I don't smell anything except dry blood. Exactly. The coat smells like blood, but it doesn't smell a cigarette. That's what I've been smelling. Yes, Detective London, I was smoking earlier. Could you rejoin the conversation? I've been listening. You want me to smell the jacket? If you would. Let's see. Huh. No gunpowder. What? What about gunpowder? Well, don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time. You can't be more than a few years older than me. But not before your partners, it seems. See, gunpowder is weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff. Hard to store, prone to misfiring, and when it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence. The hell is she talking about, London? Modern firearms like the ones we carry use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure or sound waves. They got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise. And they don't leave behind any residue. Gunpowder residue. You talked my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces. A revolver like this one, it'll leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days. So then his coat. If you don't trust your noses, you can check the lab reports. I think if they had found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they'd have taken the time to highlight it. Well, whatever. That just means he washed off after shooting her, or he changed his clothes. That's not impossible, but it would be pretty pointless. Huh? His jacket and his left hand were blood-soaked when your officers found him. Would he really go through all that effort to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue, just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? Yeah, dumbass. In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider the charges Mr. Platt is facing as soon as possible. Wow. They're faltering now. Should topple over at any moment. The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them. That gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of the shootings. Though it looks like he never actually fired the gun. I'll admit, things were a little dicey there at times. Damn, look at her. The different colors are so potent. I love it. Once I was able to grasp the situation, the smaller pieces fell into place easily enough. Not my cleanest work by far, but overall I'd say... Did she get a message? Wait, did they actually manage to find it? Something you'd like to share, Detective Reyes? You're good. Twisting the truth into knots, making the facts work for you. Thanks. But your luck just ran out. Because the net scrubbers found the cam active at the exact moment of the shooting, and right now, I'm staring at a photo of the killer. Wanna bet? Photo of the shooter. If she had that, we wouldn't still be talking. But I doubt she's just pulling this out of her ass. She's got something from the scrubbers. That's a bold bluff for this late in the game, detective. Especially when we both know that there was an optics blackout during the shooting. Well, that's just it. This isn't from optics. Oh. Ooh. It's over, counselor. Feast your eyes on this. Wow. Okay, the quality is lacking. Yep, there it is. They managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in a whole city block full of haystacks. What are the goddamn chances? No, with the skill their tools operate on, because the chances are, as always, in their favor. Alright, this isn't good, but it's a far cry from the worst case scenario I envisioned. You could even say I got lucky, which means the stakes are, well, it's a little bit blurry. Don't look at me, I didn't take the damn thing. Technically, no one took it. Looks like at the time of the shooting, a neighbor was on their phone. Probably venting about how crazy the couple across the way was acting. Their phone was on, its camera would be on. So we managed to get this shot through the window. Where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra low resolution, zoomed in, blurry, color shifted. And so compressed it looks like it's from another century. There are tools that can enhance this image any further, and I can count the pixels on one hand. And you can kiss its admissibility in court goodbye. You can't honestly claim that you can identify my client from this image. There's no way in hell you can get this past the judge. Yeah, you're probably right. We couldn't. But I think I know a DA that could. Either way, it doesn't seem like your client's leaving this police station anytime soon. That photo. What the hell is happening to me? I think I know a DA that could. Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway at the same time the whole neighborhood heard a gunshot. Wait, but he's not left-handed, he's right-handed. So how would he shoot it with such accuracy that it hit the heart perfectly? And who do we know had their left-hand fingerprints all over that gun? Referring to my client. You think? Established he wasn't wearing his modded armor at all tonight. So he must have shot with his left. Yes, so we also established that he's weak with his left side that had no gunpowder whatsoever. Forensics will never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes we miss things. Sometimes you take a walk through the rain, and when you finally get where you were going, you somehow end up dry. That doesn't mean it didn't rain. All of which is to say, before a judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test. Carlos is innocent. I know he is. That photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent. That photo is real. Both are true. And that means the photo doesn't show what it appears to show. So, I had a loss for words. Never. I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from exactly? Exactly? Positional data is usually only accurate to the nearest public router. If we DN on the phone's owner and ask them where, why bother with any of that? Ballistics and common sense tells us that the perp shot from the room's doorway. The front entrance of the apartment faces to the south. So there's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. Looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious that this is taken from across the north window. From the north. It's from the north, and why can we clearly see the... It's not that complicated. The neighbor who got the shot must live on the other side of the street. We're looking into the bedroom from the north window. She's wrong. I should seize on the opportunity to start turning the tides. It's certainly not possible, detective. Well, it has to have been taken from the west. What kind of bluff is that supposed to be? The good detectives are misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of it. Time to press the initiative. The hell do you mean this is taken from the west? Your autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. The officer's ARCS data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived. Now your evidence has shown us the exact moment of the shooting. And altogether, it tells us that this photo must have been taken through the west window. As long as you consider... Oh, the clock. the clock in the photo. Clock? What about it? The clock, huh? Seems like London's got an idea. He's mistaken. I could pounce on it to keep my tempo high. So I was taken right before the shooting, so... Wait, don't tell me the time of death is wrong. That's a good question, Detective London. But the answer is no. The autopsy, the clock, and the neighbors all agreed the time of death was 9 p.m. Right, no mistake in that. So what the hell were you on about? There's a clock on the wall in this photo, analog style, and it reads 9 o'clock. 9 p.m., the time of the shooting. The hell's so special about that? Nothing. There's nothing odd about the time the clock reads, but do you remember there being a clock in the room? What? Actually, I don't recall there being a clock. That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing the clock, because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been locked onto the floor. Yes, I do remember that. I do remember that. The only clock in that room is in the northeastern corner. And my client has informed me that before the crime, it was hung up on the eastern wall. Like so. What the hell is that supposed to... Yo, Race is about to clown the ever-living shit out of you, right? Why would you even show up with that photo? Artistic rendition. It's very distinct. You had information on how the crime scene was before the shooting. Why didn't you just add that to the arts? And show you my hand? Just because discovery law compels us to share info doesn't mean we have to play fair, detective. Hold on, I'm just checking to see what's on. Oh, I gotta be there at 5. Ooh, that complicated it. Slip my mind. I'll do that now. The thing is, if that clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred, then this photo must be looking through the western window to see it. Don't start getting ahead of yourself. The victim was shot at 9 p.m. Same time that this photo was taken off the shooter. But you want to claim that the clock's still on the eastern wall when it would have been knocked down during the fighting? You got your logic backwards, detective. Your previous photo shows that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. That's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. Yeah, this one, right? Nothing much, really. The one that they're on top of the victim's body. Not under it. If the glass fell on top of the victim's body, that would mean that she was dead on the ground before the room got trashed. That doesn't make any sense. Why did anyone trash the room afterwards? Good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's the detectives who have to delve into the minds of the criminally insane, not us. Tell me, detectives, were there any signs of a struggle with the other crime scenes? Other crime scenes? No, nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over in a matter of seconds. So what did you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom? But this is personal and things have gotten complicated. Shit happens. Shit does happen, detective. But in this case, it seems there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened. So that the room didn't get tossed over until afterwards. He still shot her. And we have a photo right here. I love how she's ignoring the fact that there was no gunpowder on his hands, on his jacket, none of that. And I'm glad you do, detective, because that photo proves my client's innocence. Huh? Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult, and maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger, because the man in that photo can't possibly be Carlos. Like hell it can't. Last charge proved that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting, and we know that until the room was tossed, that clock was on the eastern wall. Which means that this photo of the shooter was taken from the west. Back to this shit, that's impossible. The only hallway in that apartment runs from north to south. The person with prints on that gun is your client. And the only fact that matters is that you used it to murder 6 innocent people. You're a very honest person, detective. Excuse me? That's why you're such a shitty gambler. You played your cards too early, and now I can steal the pot right out from under you. You're right about the hallway's orientation. You're right about the prints. And this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo. What? What we're seeing is... trying the glass shards again? Sort of. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? Yeah, sure. They came from a standing mirror. A mirror that at the time of the shooting stood across the room from the western window. But then that would mean at that angle from that viewpoint would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with a gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer taking aim with their right hand, with their right arm. And as we all know, my client hasn't had a working right arm in a number of weeks, and he hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad that it was recovered, because it just proved that my client couldn't possibly have committed this crime. Damn. That should be the end of it. Except it looks like Detective Reyes really is a novice gambler. Sunk cost has got its teeth in her now, clawing up her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ear. It's a cold sweat, hot palms kind of fever. The impotent, irrational fury of losing something you thought was guaranteed yours. But lucky for you, Detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes. That's one word for it. Then allow me to put a nice bow on everything for you. In summary, my client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him in shock, feeling at the death of his girlfriend, and arrested him for being next to a gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with these facts, he received photographic evidence of the exact moment of the shooting. Instead of utilizing said photos to track down the real killer, he tried to claim it depicted my client, a man without the requisite limb, standing in an architecturally impossible hallway. Couldn't have had a backup arm. He could have stolen one. Or he could have had a backup arm. He could have stolen one. Most stubbornness can be charming. This kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late. Time to bare my fangs. A bit. That's the best you've got? Even a bare bones prosthetic off the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nervous system. You'd have to bring it in a clinic, which would have left the record on his own shoulder OS. A record you won't find. And you'd still have to somehow have gotten rid of it before the police arrived. SOP at the scene of a violent crime calls for full spectrum scanning of the entire building, 100 meters around it minimum. So where Detective Reyes did he manage to hide his cybernetic arm from their drones at the time between the shooting and his arrest? Damn, she really didn't need to do her like that. Well. Any objections? Detective? God damn it. That was good. Very good. Very good indeed. Why'd she crush her like that, though? Show me your hand, Flat. You uncuffing me? In light of the evidence, we had no reason to hold you. Now I gotta go call the DA and tell her I made a mistake. Nah, we made a mistake, huh? Listen, kid, you should know. Detective, lost my train of thought. But hey, your attorney's a real tiger, and she just fought like hell for you. Make sure you thank her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Yeah, it's kind of you to say, Detective, but my work is its own reward. Sure. Feel exactly the same, counselor. What happens now? I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal. And there's still some paperwork we'll need to go through. But basically, you're free to go. Congrats! You get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact. Yay! What am I supposed to do? Detectives will continue their investigation. Investigation into heartbreak, huh? Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with their examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin. And then you can make funeral arrangements. No, that's not what Diane being gone is bad enough. The serial killer, it's like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen anymore. People die of the flu all the time, but I know what you mean. I can't make sense of it. So what am I supposed to do? Well, if I know. There are some contacts I could give you. Services, professionals, doctors. No, you've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself. and try and convince them that I didn't. You saved me. Thank you. You're welcome, Carlos, but it's my job to. No, I mean, thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her. Oh, Carlos. I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all. The blood's always different. Don't tell me she's the one who did it! Heart's always in the same place. Easy to find, hard to miss. The blood's always different. A flowering stain unfurling towards an invisible sun. A perfectly unique bloom only for each of us. A Rorschach test with singular, universal meaning. Vitality at its climax. Bursting forth into a red fractal consisting solely of an infinite DNA. The comical thud of a body hitting the floor has its own kind of lowbrow appeal. So she's a villain. Bullet number 606. The gun's empty. It's useless to me now. May as well leave it. Feels like a waste, but whatever. Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untagged gun for a fair bit of cash. Cash can't buy you peace of mind. I was almost so surprised. Lady. Moving around in the dark in here, must have only been able to see my silhouette. I think I was her boyfriend back for an encore, then enthralling conversations. Wait, so she was there the whole time? Yo, that's crazy. Can't ask her now. Wait, did you hear that? Pieces are so goddamn loud. People aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run to get their way. Probably roused half the neighborhood. I didn't see anything I could use it. It's even a partial suppressor on the way in. They really not have words and throw pillows? The other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces and small spears of blind opportunities the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped places, usually full of trash. This room, as cheap as it looks, is at least clean, organized even. So the corpse adds a certain satisfying contrast. Except there's shit on the floor. By the window, there are broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. It's just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. It's actually really irritating. I kicked over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes to each of them. Not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. For that final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. The wall. Something falls from it. Probably more tasteless bullshit. It's also the chair. Knock the urn. Tear into the sheets in my frustration and try to savor the shredding. It can't be clean. I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it will be consistent. Damn, so you're telling me that she really did all this? And the other ones, for that matter. This is also stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on my humility. Now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with single shots? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but... Ugh, heartbreak killer? Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess over something that's none of their business? All of the threads and breakdowns and the goddamn theory crafting. And all for the heartbreak kill. I imagine she has some kind of like Brooklyn accent. I don't know why. She just seems like the type to have that like New York style way of talking. Sounds like a soap opera villain from a season where the writers were on strike. I feel insulted by the label, but no, that's someone else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. He's just some reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who shot 6 people because... Well, I'm sure people will come up with something. He got rejected 1 too many times or whatever. I mean, I killed these people because I saw them and I wanted to. Bro, what is up with her? I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least the room is thoroughly trashed now. If I just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it wouldn't have irritated me to no end. So she is a killer with OCD that affronts her that acts as a lawyer. No, that doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly. It'll irritate the cops to no end instead. Rinse heartbreak. Enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. The air is weighty tonight. Thick, energized. A heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on every hair. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like in those short moments just after the shower turns off when the steam lingers. Yeah, it's always the most comfortable right afterwards. There is no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that. But I know I've never felt guilty about any of this. And I walk. That's insane. That is literally insane. She's literally insane. Sorry, using my left is still. That's okay. You just initial in most spots. I took a scenic route home, courtesy of our fine city's sprawling public transportation, and got in a bit after 11 p.m. I myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40 a.m., a posting for public defender work came up. Decent rate since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer, and enough debt that he needed to be provided one. All I had to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning. Okay, where else? Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take on a job where I already knew more than the cops? Yo, she's built different. She's built absolutely, positively different. It would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same too. But easy is dangerous. Carlos was, of course, innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes, more headaches. A cold case rotting in the very far back of the public's awareness is always preferable to one open and shut in haste. Now with no more murders matching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. Now Harper can just starve to death, out of sight and mind like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Getting involved with the case this intimately does have its risks. Hell, I might have even overdone things here or there. Like lighting up a smoke inside an interrogation room just to make doubly sure I did still smell a gunpowder myself. That London fellow seemed more fixated on it than I would have liked. But obviously everything turned out rosy, and it's worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house, that's just a bonus. Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diane is grateful too. Funny, I didn't even know her name. She has ice in her veins, this one does. Something the matter? Oh, sorry, it's just, I was mad when I looked at the apartment. I know she was too. So when she died, death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine that she was in any pain. Like, I can guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground. No, I know, but I just keep thinking that she must have died angry at me. She must have died hating me. Can I present evidence? Should I present evidence? Do I even have evidence? Oh, wait, no. Yeah, I'll present that. God, there's something I've been wondering about myself. That's an arc data that I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit in anywhere else. You can make sense of it. Oh, so it just does it for me. What is? Where did you find that? A pill organizer found on the victim. She had it grasped in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added to the arcs, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Seems like it contains herprexazone, prescribed to help modders with phantom itches. They're small tablets, and those are tricky class too for a pill organizer. Could it be hard to handle with an unsteady hand, or it could be hard to handle with an unsteady hand? No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died, even if they did. Feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, and sad all at the same time. As far as facts are concerned, it appeared that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. To my eyes, anyway. Yo, that's actually insane work. She said, I didn't even know her name. Cold-blooded. Long night. That was too far just now. Practically rubbing it in his face. It's not like I care about his feelings. I doubt I'll ever even see him again. Or something like that is pure hubris. And hubris invites a downfall. So why did I even bother? That's the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. Just need to show more restraint next time. Well, there won't be a next time for Heartbreak. The gun's in custody. There's no more bullets left. There won't be a seventh victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. The media will move on to their next obsession. I'll move on to my next MO. I know when I found you. Oh shit. District Attorney Rockford. Alright, can I try that again? I'm so fried. By all means. Counselor Morgan. Morning, not noon or night. You're always so put together. Thank you. I don't get it. How do you sleep at night? Pardon? You do white noise, aromatherapy, whatever you're doing. I need to steal it. God. I must have bags under my eyes dark enough for the dumpsters. Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford. She's a prosecutor, a lawyer who argues for the state in court trying to prove a defendant's guilt. And despite her sometimes unkempt appearance, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know, since I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has the remarkable ability to compartmentalize all that adversarial energy and only bring it out in the courtroom. It's part of what makes her good at her job, and hard for me to read. Should I buy a new mattress? What have they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Oh well, actually I'm here for you. Me? The client was the suspect in the Heartbreak killings. That's my case. Well then you must have been relieved finding out that you won't have to go to trial against me. No? Why would I be worried about going up against you? Damn, that's crazy. That is crazy. That's crash out worthy right there. So as the unintended barbs with her. So you're working with those detectives. Yeah, London and the new girl, Reyes. They've been reporting to me in preparation for trial. Preparation for trial? That seems ambitious. I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little. It's hard to kill while leaving so little behind. So Reyes told you they had HK in custody and you popped out of bed all excited to run down here? Hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Too much on my mind. So when I heard about a case with a single female victim shot through the heart, yeah, my ears perked up. That's about all. I mean, Carlos, a serial killer? Same serial killer that saw Tamar at the stake for weeks? Just not using his middle name. He was found with the murder weapon. But I can answer that in any number of ways. Victim's blood on sleeves. Maybe true, but then I glanced at the report. You glance at it? No gunpowder residue on him or his clothes. Right. Super watchful, too apologetic in that note. Whatever it was about, the gun arm modded. Without documented sensitivity issues, never could have made shots that clean. Not without getting close up leaves scorch marks. Not to mention he's too tall for the ballistics entry angles. Probably too heavy to not leave imprints. Look at her face. I don't think I've ever seen her make that face. She got all that from a glance? Sure, competent lawyer like yourself pointed all that out the minute you walked in there. Of course. Or as far as she's not even being sarcastic. Yeah, of course it couldn't have been him. Long-term relationship, physically imposing, argumentative, so not the type to bottle things up. He didn't match the profile. Profile? Yeah, the... Right, sorry, you probably never heard of it. I know what a goddamn profile is. A profile is a reconstruction of a criminal psychology based on evidence from their crimes. Kind of fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Not much need to guess about the why when 99 times out of 100 the who is caught on camera. Or before they even leave the house. I had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it. I think I'm getting the hang of it. Well, at least this heartbreak maniac will slow down now that he's lost his weapon. He didn't lose it, he chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident he can do just fine without it. And it just makes me even more certain that these aren't his only kills. Were there other shootings with the same MO? No, not that I found. Other victims that fit the description? No. But I'm not overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other, but they also look like a lot of people. That's true. Hell, they kind of look like me. Damn! Do they? She's been killing them on a whim, bro. She really has been. She's so angry that she keeps losing that she's taking it out on other people. I don't know how to feel about it. Sure. What, you don't see it? I hadn't thought about it. Because no one can kill Eckley when it's their first time. Getting things that perfect takes practice. So I know that HK must have had a lot more than 6 occasions to practice, Morgan. That's why I think heartbreak is a misnomer. Got something catchier in mind? I just don't think shooting them in the heart has any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. Best possible use of 6 untagged bullets. 6 kills guaranteed no matter what kind of life support mods they were tagging. Their real signature isn't the bullets or the gun. It's the perfection. That's hard to wrap your head around. I'm saying that these 6 murders were just a fluke, a slip-up, a mistake? Exactly, a mistake. They got too clean, too efficient, and now they got the public's attention. It's no wonder they're so pissed. Are you talking about the crime scene? Yeah, probably threw the detectives for a loop, right? Bro, look at... I'm so mad that she is picking up on literally everything. Based on what you said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed that room doesn't seem like the smooth operator you've been describing. On the contrary, I don't follow. This was the last bullet, their last shot. The other 5 were perfect. So if anything was out of place this time around, they must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum. You make them sound like a child. Childish. And cowardly. And two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they love to win. The profile tell you all that? That? No. That part just takes one to know one. So it's profiling. It's some kind of investigative technique. The theory is that a crime can tell you something about the nature of the person who committed it. Stabbing? Overkill. Points to passion, rage, lust. They probably knew their victim. Poison and guns, meanwhile, suggest they can't overpower their victims physically. And then there's things you can assume about nearly all serial offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal knowledge, few or no meaningful attachments. There's a lot of recurring themes in their stories. Detectives say HK doesn't leave evidence, so how much can his crimes possibly tell you? That he's diligent, almost perfect, highly intelligent, painstakingly organized, and with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearm. It's rare to see her this animated outside the courtroom. It's almost like she's enjoying herself. A sheltered house cat has picked up the scent of a mouse for the first time. A lone wolf, educated, but all her playfully lethal instincts coming to life. Probably overqualified or undervalued. So I'm not thrilled about the fact that in that metaphor I would be the... Know what I mean? Definitely. Considering the marksmanship. Texas said that HK would have needed insider information on optics. So that mean Heartbreak's in law enforcement? Never in 10 billion years. Oh. Antisocial, independent, despises authority. That'd be like a stallion applying for a job on a merry-go-round. They'd be kicking kids in the head after the first full rotation. That analogy and the way she describes it is just too perfect. I love it. Right, that's exactly how I put it. There must be some connection to the police, though. Maybe secondary or tertiary. These sites can't help but insert themselves. Insert themselves? I do not insert. I don't do anything even resembling that. Wait, HK is not a cop. How did they know about the blackout timing? Crime meta statistics analysis, probably. Pardon? Take the emergency response times from across the city and map them out. Look for brief spikes and delays. Chart out the dips in. Sorry, technical I know, but all the requisite data is publicly available. With a map, a spreadsheet, a calculator, anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to. That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. So to summarize, you're looking for a cold-blooded, faceless, perfectionist killer who you think has no persistent MO or victim type. A city with an 8-digit population. Well, 8-digit. Good luck. So in the tens of millions. I only need more information. Well, I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with more resources. No, Morgan. I mean, I need more crime scenes. Oh. Sad truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch them. Only way my net narrows is they keep piling up bodies. Not a very fair trade, is it? No, it isn't. Getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil. Fair enough. Oof. Okay, that rant was pretty morbid and detailed. I need to get out more, or sleep more. Or sleep less, but harder. You think a higher thread count would help? Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to you ramble. It's a lot more pleasant than having to face you in the courtroom. Sorry, but that's the adversarial process. So no hard feelings, yeah? No hard feelings. Bro, her blood is white hot right now. We're both just doing what we do. I could use a cup of coffee. How about you? Don't tempt me. If you fall asleep face first onto the table, I won't even take a picture. Okay. Just don't expect us to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats. Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. In 2 weeks, the media will have moved on to the next sensation, and the police will have moved on to the cases they actually stand a chance of closing. That's what people do. But Emma is different. Bro, look at her. She'll set it aside and work a dozen other cases. Never bring it up. Private corner of that frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it. Never finishing, but never quitting either. So I can't afford to take my eyes off of her. As long as that's the case, I may as well try to enjoy the view. Wait, so is this, which means you're going to be living with my friend for a while. For how long? I'm sorry, I don't know. There's no need to look that upset over it. My face rarely moves. It may as well have been a blatant pout from where I'm sitting. Yeah, like that. This friend of yours, they're trustworthy? Absolutely. I trust them more than anyone. Come on, it'll be fun. Really? Really, educational too. I think you could stand to learn a lot from someone like Morgan. Damn, that is crazy. You want me to keep pressing? That's crazy. No, but this story is getting wild. Oh my god, I'm so locked in for the next episode. But I can't do it today because, man, oh, how I want to so badly, you don't understand. Yes, I know, we're good. That's gonna be it for today, ladies and gents. I'm pretty sure that this is actually the start of the next episode, so we're just going to hold off on that for right now. But definitely gonna want to check out this game. in its entirety. I'm woo! The dialogue was so on point. Keep your eyes open because this is one I'm sick with. This I can already feel. My heart was racing, man. I ain't gonna hold it. So yeah, that's gonna be a stream for another time. But that's then. This is now. Until we meet again, ladies and gentlemen. I have been your host for this evening, the greatest ringmaster of the greatest square screen. Oh my god, the greatest ringmaster to ever grace the squared screen. Your king of clowns, your jester of justice, Mr. as real as it gets, Azrael Kuranushi. Until we meet again, take care. Goodbye for now.